Coming up on today's Liberty, construction of Tyranny Park 2 is set to commence, but the major order isn't over yet. Warbond week kicks off tonight. Details to follow. A moment of valor that shows dumb determination is the embodiment of managed democracy. And don't play with matches. Why fire needs to be respected in today's Super Earth Art of War.
Helldivers to Hellpods. Repeat. Helldivers to Hellpods.
Helldivers. The clock is ticking on our current major order. Less than a day remains in the fight to secure the construction of Tyranny Park 2. And thanks to your valor, enormous strides have been made in Operation Lost World. Borok has been liberated, 2 million Impalers have been eliminated, and 1.5 million Bile Titans have been reduced to nothing more than smoking husks. Our science teams also report the successful extraction of all 40 million common samples and 15 million rare samples required to stock this magnificent facility. But one obstacle remains: charges. Hundreds of thousands of them still roam unchecked, and they are the last things standing between us and a future of safe, family-friendly terminate vivisections. Current projections suggest we're on track to only barely succeed. But this is on condition that every Helldiver keeps their boots on the ground and their stratagems at the ready. Stay vigilant, stay relentless, and together we will make Tyranny Park 2 not merely a monument to entertainment and education, but a shining reminder that freedom never backs down.
A Reddit post by user Bulimali is stirring up some grim questions among the Helldiver community. The post, titled, "If Flesh Mob is made by a lot of humans, and they appear a lot in the mission, how many ex-humans have we put an end to their misery?" dives into the disturbing reality behind these grotesque Illuminate constructs. Bulimali points out that before the first invasion, there weren't any flesh mobs. They only began appearing shortly before the assault on Super Earth, implying that the Illuminate had been stockpiling abducted humans for the purpose of creating these shambling horrors. With countless worlds lost to the enemy, the sheer number of potential captives grows staggering. Not long ago, Helldivers received a mission objective to eliminate 7.5 million flesh mobs. If each one truly contains around 20 ex-humans, that would mean Helldivers have already liberated over 150 million souls. And yet, their numbers don't seem to decrease. If anything, they rise. Which begs the chilling question: are the Illuminate cloning their captives to sustain this endless tide? Whether it's cloning, stockpiles, or some other eldritch science, one thing is clear: every flesh mob we destroy is one more reminder of the unimaginable scale of this war.
150 million ex-humans? That's less like a body count and more like a census report.
True, but unlike a census, you don't get a friendly knock at the door. You get a plasma rifle to the face.
I guess that's one way to lower unemployment numbers.
At this rate, the Squids are running a bigger jobs program than the Ministry of Prosperity.
A sobering thought, and a borderline treasonous one. And now for today's Moments of Valor that comes courtesy of Corporal Ra B110912, a proud member of the official Super Earth Salute Super Discord. Their clip arrives with the tagline, "This is why I never passed my SES driving course." The footage begins with our brave Helldiver steering a fast recon vehicle through thick fog on a bug-ridden planet. Out of nowhere, bam! A spore charger slams straight into the FRV, sending the Corporal skidding. Forced into reverse, Ra B110912 drifts dangerously close around a machine gun sentry, dodging its fire by mere inches. But the chaos doesn't end there. The Corporal barrels straight into a bug breach, climbs a hill, only to be launched sky-high by another charger erupting from the ground. The FRV spins multiple times in the air before crashing back down. Our driver still somehow in the seat. A quick stim later, neck intact, Ra B110912 is back in action. For their sheer determination, iron constitution, and refusal to take no for an answer, we at the SES salute Corporal Ra B110912. And remember, you too can be featured in a future Moment of Valor. Join the official SES Super Discord, now with over 5,800 members, and submit your clips. The more over the top, democratic, or completely insane, the better. Right, and with that, let's see what Helldiver Spizzo has for all of us in today's Galactic Weather Report.
Good day, Helldivers! Let's take a look at the galactic forecast and see how much of the universe wants you dead today. First up, Pandion 24, currently infested with terminids. Expect a blanket of thick fog, so visibility will be about as clear as a democracy officer's expense report. Perfect conditions for bugs to jump out and chew your face off before you even know they are there. And don't worry, your local DSS ship is in orbit, watching you stumble around like it's primetime comedy. Meanwhile, over on Vernon Wells, automaton forces are stomping around those rocky canyons. But Mother Nature isn't on their side. Tremors are shaking the ground so hard, even the automatons look like they're dancing to a patriotic jig. Just remember, Helldivers, the enemy is dangerous, but so is the weather. Try not to get squashed by a boulder before you're vaporized by lasers. So remember, citizens, the enemies are bad, but the weather? Somehow worse.
So you're saying we're fighting blind in fog or breakdancing on quake-ridden cliffs?
Exactly. Just think of it as nature's way of adding an extra difficulty mode.
Oh, good, because clearly the Terminids and automatons weren't challenging enough already.
Hey, it wouldn't be democracy if it were easy.
Helldivers, Warbond Week begins today. After casting their ballots in the official SES Super Discord, the people have spoken, and the lineup is set. On Monday, August 18th, we kick things off with an explosive deep dive into democratic detonation. Tuesday, it's all about science and precision as we deploy gear exclusively from Control Group. Midweek brings the flair. Wednesday belongs to the Masters of Ceremony. Thursday, we'll be testing either Servants of Freedom or Truth Enforcers, or maybe both, depending on how the votes shake out during the live stream. And on Friday the 22nd, the grand finale, a head-to-head between Urban Legends and Freedom's Flame. Will we crown one champion or double dip into both? You decide, troops. This is the perfect chance for fresh recruits to see which warbonds suit their style, and for veterans to size up gear they might have overlooked. Join us each day as we put these warbonds to the test in live combat. Warbond Week is here, and it's going to be a blast.
Today's fan art spotlight shines on a powerful fan art piece by Art Ray XE, who has delivered a propaganda poster that looks like it could have come straight out of the Ministry of Truth itself. The image depicts a Helldiver in near silhouette, with bold yellow trim and the iconic Helldivers logo on the chest, a shining yellow visor, and the classic B01 stripes on the helmet. In one gauntleted hand, the Helldiver hoists the freshly torn skull of an automaton, a symbol of victory ripped directly from the enemy's cold metal body. Behind him, missiles streak skyward, cutting lines of fire through the sky, amplifying the raw, unrelenting tone of the poster. The message is crystal clear in its text. Man up blares across the top in defiant boldness, while at the bottom, the rallying cry, Liberty favors the bold, strikes home in bright yellow, tying perfectly into the Helldiver's glowing accents. It's the kind of art that doesn't just hang on a wall. It recruits, inspires, and it reminds us why we fight. Art Ray XE's poster captures the Helldiver's essence, uncompromising courage, and the willingness to rip victory straight from the enemy's hands, or skulls. Remember, if you are an artist, be sure to always share your creations to the SES Super Discord fan art section for a chance to be featured on an episode of The Liberty.
I've got to say, that's one way to boost morale. Nothing says liberty like waving around a robot's severed head.
Exactly. It's motivational and educational. Automaton skulls make terrible paperweights, but fantastic propaganda.
I'll stick to posters then. Less messy. We conclude today's broadcast with the Super Earth Art of War. Helldivers, today's lesson in the Super Earth Art of War is simple. Respect the flame. Fire is one of the oldest allies of humankind, and one of its most impatient. Orbital napalm barrages, flamethrowers, incendiary mines, these aren't just weapons of democracy. They're living reminders that fire answers only to itself. Used wisely, the flame can clear a path through waves of terminids, turn a charger into a smoking crater, or create a no-go zone where even the bravest bugs dare not tread. Used carelessly? Well, let's just say you become the cautionary example at next week's safety seminar. Remember, flames don't discriminate between friend or foe, victory or tragedy. They merely consume. So wield them not as toys, but as sacred instruments of liberation. Burn with purpose, not with panic. In the end, fire is like freedom itself. Unstoppable, untamable, and very, very good at spreading when pointed in the wrong direction. Respect it, and it will carry you to glory. Forget, and it will carry you to your respawn beacon. Helldivers, thank you for your attention. Don't forget that Warbond Week begins today, so have your questions at the ready and your notepad at hand by 4 p.m. EST. We're streaming every weekday this week, so it's a bumper crop for you to enjoy. Until then, troops, stay free and never ever surrender. For Super Earth and democracy.